Hello again, and welcome to Learn Python 3 the Hard Way, exercise 41. And this exercise is actually one of my favorites, and I stumbled onto it accidentally. I was teaching a friend named Lauren who wanted to learn to code, and we got to the object-oriented section. And as I told you before, object-oriented programming is just weird. It's a language. It's basically a very strange language that lets programmers talk about this version or this way of composing components that come together, right? So that sounds all strange. But the thing that I stumbled on was I gave her a set of words, and here's the words, and I told her to drill these words. And then I gave her a set of patterns. So these are the common Python patterns that you run into when you do Python programming. And then once I did those common patterns, I sort of typed out code. And what I did was I typed out the code, or it's not really code, it was like pseudocode. And I basically had her try to translate the code into English. So I would write out a piece of code like this, class XY. I would use like apple and orange, and she would say, make a class named apple that is an orange. That is a orange. And so once I stumbled onto this, and she seemed to kind of get it, I quickly hacked up a little script, and I said, okay, run this script every day and try to answer these translation questions. And you can see from the code, these are the questions that it's doing. And what this did was this gave her a way to practice the translation, the weird sort of logic of OOP is the only way to put it. It's not really logic. It's just a very strange way of talking about code. When she reads the code, she can translate it into English and then know what it does. And she ran this for a week, and then when she was done, she could read it. It totally made sense. Or it didn't make sense, but she could read it, and then it slowly made sense. It sort of got over the stumbling block of this strange terminology. So I formalized this and made it a little bit more concrete, and I wrote this script. And this script is actually it's a fairly advanced script. It doesn't use any real object-oriented programming. So the whole script is just a simple Python script. And there shouldn't be anything odd in here. You probably could go through this whole thing and understand what's in it, okay? And I did this script, and then this has been probably the number one exercise that helps people understand object-oriented programming. And the reason why is everyone who does object-oriented programming learns it the phrasing very slowly by slowly working with code or trying to read code. This speeds it up by giving you sort of fake phrases and fake code and makes you translate it. And then basically you learn it a lot quicker. You learn the terminology quicker, and you learn how to think about it quicker. Okay? So what you got to do, and in this exercise, it's totally fine if you just copy and paste this, but it would be very, very helpful if you went through and tried to understand this whole thing. This is kind of like what I would call more of a quick and dirty hack. It's not meant to be elegant. It's meant to just kind of go through the stuff and do it really easily. So there's some, kind of interesting tricks in here. These are all things like, for example, this line. This is an easy way to swap two things. Remember, Python will take the thing on the right and assign it to the same position thing on the left. So if you take answer and then on the left assign it to question, and take question and then on the left assign it to answer, you've just swapped them. Totally works. But a lot of people don't think that because, and hopefully you're learning, if you can do one thing and do another, well, if I can do multiple assignment of variables on the left, and I can put a list of variables on the right, well, that means I could put the two variables I want to swap in on both sides. Nothing should prevent me from doing that. So this little script is full of all kinds of interesting, odd little hacks. You should go through it and make sure that it works for you, and try to enter it in. If you have a problem entering it in, the script is not really the main point of the exercise, so go ahead and just copy paste it and work with it. Now I'm going to run it real quick, and we'll see how good I am, because I actually haven't really done a lot of Python object-oriented programming these days. Okay, and I'm going to refer back to my own phrases. Let me see what we got here. Let's go to And keep in mind, the build up to the phrase drills are you have to do flashcards for these word drills. So that's key. Don't just run the phrase drill and think you're going to figure this all out. Make your flashcards and study this a lot before, because you have to know these words. You have to know what they are. Then you go through these phrase drills and you do some cards for those, so you recognize the pattern. A big thing with this exercise is becoming better at pattern recognition. Okay, and then after that you want to go and do the exercise or the oop.py. Okay, so once we've got that, let's go. Oh, I had the list of phrases already. I need to go back to that. All right, up here, yes. Okay, so let me just review, and then I'm going to go give this a try. So, class destruction inherits from object. Oh wow, I'm totally not going to get this right. Let's see. Let me see. Oh yeah, a class X has a function named M that takes self and J parameters. All right. Back this up. I did not do this right. Class destruction has a function creature that takes self and bead parameters. Okay, class destruction has a function creature that takes self and bead parameters. These words are coming from a list of words online that I just they're kind of random words. They don't really do anything. They make no sense, and they probably just will make some funny things for you to look at. But for the most part, they're just for you to start spotting patterns. So you don't get hung up on the meaning of each word. This is an important thing. A lot of people, when they code, they focus on the meaning, like celery, and they go, oh, so celery is very important, when really it's what celery is representing. Like, what is it pointed at? Where is it defined? And why is it being put there? So celery could be anything. What's important is where is it defined and why is it put there? How is it being used? What does it mean? Once you figure that out, then you kind of start spotting patterns better. So this is going to help you not fixate on it. Okay, I'm going to guess at call comb. Oh no, I should probably go look because I totally don't know this. Let's see. Call comb. Oh, from foo get function M call it. Okay, cool. So let's try that again. From decision call comb and pass it self, agreement, celery, and burn. From decision, get the comb function. So call comb, I said it a little differently, and call it with params, self, agreement, celery. All right, so I didn't do that one too much. Create a new instance of decision and assign it to crack. Set crack to an instance of class decision. So then I would have to go back and have to look it up. Now, here's the thing. Set foo to an instance of class X. What I said here is kind of just an inverted way of saying the same thing, but you should be more exact. I'm being lazy because I can already code oops. It's been a while, so I'm not really doing it as exactly as you should be doing it. But this is a demonstration of how this little program works. Let me see if I can do one more. Okay, so class bath inherits from camera. Class, let me see, class bath inherits from class camera. Make a class named bath that is a camera. That's a better way to say it, because you're saying make a new class. Okay, so this is get beef from coal and assign cactus. See if I did that. From coal, get the beef attribute and set it to cactus. So that's actually more correct. So there you go. I should probably run through this little drill so I can update my verbiage in OOP. But for you, that's the gist of what you're trying to do, is you're trying to be able to call up the things that you need to be able to say to translate to English so you can understand the OOP code you read. Now, I'm going to do this. Control C on Windows. And then if I type English it's going to be the reverse. It will give you the English phrase and you have to write the Python code. So from Chin, get the basket attribute and set it to attack. So chin.basket equals attack. There you go. This is probably going to be easier for me. Set B to an instance of class discovery. B equals discovery. Class business has a init that takes self and boundary parameters. So it's going to be class business. Okay. And you can do object here. Python 3, you don't need the object, so you can do that. But I'm including the object because part of the Python aesthetic is explicit is better than implicit. So just include it as documentation, more or less. And def double underscore, that's 2 underscores. So dunder underscore, that takes self and boundary. Hey, there we go. I did it all on one line, so that's totally valid to do that, but in real Python you would put a new line there. Class dog has a function door that takes self and comfort parameters. That's actually probably pretty legit as far as a thing. So object, and then there's a function door. So it has a function door that takes self and comfort parameters. Yeah, there you go. So, and nope, that didn't work. So in this exercise, you don't have to just sit and do just this exercise for like a week or whatever. I would say take your first day and drill this really hard. Do your index cards, do your flashcards, and drill this really hard. Then what you do is, as you do each exercise that's covering object-oriented programming, before you start, spend 15, 30, whatever minutes you can drilling this over and over again. And if you really want, keep track of your score. Like, how well do you do on this exercise, especially with this phrase driller. This will help you when you come to the next phase, which is going to be actually writing object-oriented code and understanding more about it. Okay, have fun with this exercise. And again, if you can't enter in the code, then that's fine. Just go ahead and copy and paste it. But if you can, it's actually very instructive. It even shows you how to download things off the internet using URL lib. This one right here. Okay, see you at the next exercise.